Little bit of drama online. Some weird stuff. Tanuki, the Antifa guy, chief content producer. He did a little video on the Australia Day thing. The Woolworths wouldn't stop the stuff. I haven't bought that stuff for a long time. We bought some in Coles though. Um, just some napkins, I think, and a tumbler with a boxing kangaroo on it. A little bit of amusing thing. People going nuts. Someone toppled a Cook statue in Melbourne, I think. Big drama. People having meltdowns over that. It's amusing though. I think it's Nyakugori and some other one, McKinnon, I think, declaring victory over Australia Day. An Aboriginal victory over the Whitey. I don't think that's a bit premature. That's like I said in the comments, Bush W with his mission accomplished sign on the aircraft carrier. Saw how that went. So I don't think so. Someone said that Woolworths stopped it because they thought there was going to be no Australia Day. The Voice would get up and Australia Day would just be junked straight away. I think they were probably going to do that, going to try that. Just shut down everything, just claim, put something through the courts on the Monday or soon after and just make a claim for the entire country. Shut the entire country down. But Albo sort of messed it up and that didn't happen. I don't know what they were up to. I don't know what Leibler and the Alan Joyce, the little leprechaun Qantas guy, who's gone now, I think. Don't know what they were up to. Grappy Joe, and speaking of mission accomplished, Grappy Joe Biden is on the verge of starting another war. The Houthis and Kataib Hezbollah. He's too senile to think. I said, why are Americans? Why are America's? That's the Coke. I drank one of those little bottles of Coke. They're expensive, aren't they? That you get in the big trays. And Trump, I had some fish with the hot dog roll. There's fish cocktail things. Very nice. You defrost them and then sort of shallow fry them, rather than putting them in the oven dry out. Grapey Joe, yeah. Why are America's enemies emboldened? Well, why do you think they seem just wandering aimlessly around on stage and shaking hands with the Invisible Man and talking like that? I mean, of course they think they're going to be emboldened, aren't they? They think there's he's just sitting there drooling in the Oval Office, drooling there. Why would you not think that? I don't know. Anyway, they talk about getting rid of Zelensky. It's going to be very ugly over there. Just can't even comprehend how ugly it's going to be. It just never stops. So yeah, that was an amusing part. But they're not really above and beyond Australia. I think Tanuki sort of thinks he is. He thinks he's above and beyond intellectually and culturally and politically, above and beyond the average Australian. But that's not true, is it? He's got sitting there with his swilling his beer and with his blue singlet on and cheering on lockdowns like every suburban normie, every ALP supporter and most of the Liberal Party. He's deluded. The whole Antifa crew are deluded. Andy Fleming, he goes for Collingwood, sits there watching Collingwood, the most racist team in the country. The supporters So this idea that the Antifa guys are somehow above and beyond everyone in Australia, with their support for the WEF and all that sort of thing, and vaccine mandates and lockdowns and Collingwood, that's a delusion. They're deluded. Self-righteousness is not really justified in that context, is it? I've got a book about the lockdowns out of the Ride Libraries. A couple of political scientists who have written a book. Read a few pages. The thesis seems to be Australia stopped being governed at all. It's been a failure of governance. And I think that's fairly true, but it doesn't really, hit home. They have mentioned Donald Horne, that was my assessment. Donald Horne, The Lucky Country, famous book, sort of forgotten now, 60 years ago, 1964, about Australia being a very mediocre country, lucky, and run by mediocre people who share its luck. It's pure luck of flukers we are, and he was absolutely right in 1964, and the luck ran out in 2020 with all these very mediocre people in charge and authoritarian. The authoritarian streak that's sort of bubbling underneath the sort of Paul Hogan Ocker sort of mentality. That sort of Australia is sort of a laid back place because it's very large and we've generally had a high standard of living overall compared to other countries, and large and spread out, and people in suburbia being able to sort of seclude themselves from the people around them. So I don't have anything to do with our neighbours here. Absolutely would not. But you can sort of seclude yourself a little bit in suburbia, even little places like this. And it's even more true sort of up in the North Shore. My grandparents used to live, and Roseville, very large homes up there. You're living in sort of your own little manor, sort of. You've got a decent backyard. It's a very different world, especially up there. Even on the train line to Eastwood, up to what's that last one? I can't north of the West Ride line, from West Ride Station, you go up north, and yeah, you start to see very, very big homes. It's the size of a block of units, almost. And you just live a very different life up there. And that's been how Australia has been able to function, because people haven't really been on top of one another. But that's going away now. There's more and more flats. It's become the norm as we've become more crowded. And we can't sort of live away from one another too much anymore. And yeah, so once that stopped, once it was actually, we had to rely on the leaders and not fluking luck, everything fell apart, which is no surprise to me. It's not any surprise to me that this is how Australians went on during the lockdowns and vaccine mandates. There's always a very nasty streak of authoritarianism and spitefulness underneath the surface. You can hear this if you pop on the talkback radio. That's how it is. And our luck ran out eventually, as it does, and that's how we ended up in a very terrible situation with very terrible people, mediocre, sort of grotesque people like Barrett Jicklian doing terrible things. So I just started that. I haven't finished Latham's book. And whatever you say about Latho, he's quite intelligent. He can make some insightful commentaries into the suburban mindset of Australia and the political class. Talks a lot about free market economics sort of saving everything. So he's bought into that third way, I think he was promoting. No, not really. I don't think that's the solution. Whatever the solution is, you got Malay over there in Argentina. He'll be gone in a couple of months. He's going to crash the whole situation. It's going to be shock doctrine, Naomi Klein style over there, and they're going to fall apart. The Europeans are sort of fed up with the immigrants. Afghani guy, he went crazy and was throwing all sorts of chemicals everywhere, and I think his face came off. Half his face came off. So he's running around somewhere in Britain, somewhere in the back blocks of Britain with like a sci-fi, like Terminator or something like that, with his eyes all gone, and that'll be infected if he doesn't go to hospital. Don't know what's happening. They might have caught him. I don't know. Probably find out about it if they did. So that'll get infected soon. He'll be a goner. The little Afghan guy with the Three Stooges haircut. Not sure why people are being brought in. So that's over in Britain, and there's a big fight on the internet. Will Stancil, the red lib, very white guy, classic red lib, and Steve Saylor, the racist blogger at unst.com, and all his boomer mates. He's gone crazy too because he's bagging Thai food, and they're all bagging Thai food in the comments. Saylor doesn't like picking the Thai food, and they're saying he's a boomer sort of bigoted fan base saying they'd rather eat meat and potatoes. So that's the sort of brain dead sort of stuff you get from them. And Stancil saying he loves Somalis. So there's two sets of imbeciles attacking one another. And also Trump wants to start a fight with Taylor Swift. Going to declare a holy war or something. Don't know why. Don't know whether she's sort of sympathetic to Biden, but she doesn't stick her nose out too much about politics, sort of feminist, and probably sort of a smaller liberal, maybe. I don't know. Don't know why he'd be declaring a holy war on Taylor Swift. He'll find out that that's not a real good idea. They're pretty fanatical, the Swifties. They might just give him the Gaddafi treatment, which I thought was a reasonable possibility with Trump, but probably not at Madison Square Gardens with Shake It Off playing out. Shake it off, and they're just tearing Trump's body to pieces, passing around his lifeless corpse. That might happen. That's a non-zero chance that might happen. So he's on another suicide mission like Grumpy Joe is in Yemen in the Middle East, and that's going to be a very bad turnout. So I think there's a lot of delusional people around. The Antifa guys who think they're above and beyond it while sitting there sort of in their tanuki, swilling beer and their blue singlets. They're under a misapprehension that they're not like the suburbanites at all, but not really. That's a delusion. And Trump is delusional, and Biden is delusional. Will Stancil's delusional. Steve Saylor has exposed himself as a bit of a nitwit, and he's boomer-tard, magatard sort of base. They want to replace Zelensky, so that's stupid. It's just utter idiocy. But anyway, it's a whole heap of nonsense, and there are no good guys, I don't think. There are very few good guys around. The left, the right, conservatives, libertarians, Um, just everyone is completely delusional and idiotic.